Indiana Hoosiers Live 58. It's the Big Ten Championship preview. We're back. Brad's back. Brad looks like he's freezing his ass off, and for good reason.
My heater's broken in Chicago. It's not the move, guys. It's not the move.
The heater might be broken in Assembly Hall, too, if you're joining us during the halftime of the Indiana men's basketball game. We'll keep a side eye on that, but obviously.
Oh, yeah, I got to throw that on.
While Brad throws that on, I gotta be honest.
I watched the first half.
Twitter reaction tells me that I thought the sky was falling, that we were down by 40, and that like we were getting killed at the rim. It's tied. I don't know. You know what I mean? Big Ten opener, kind of wonky. Big game on Saturday, letdown spot. Like, we'll see. Plenty of time left.
We should beat this team by 10. I mean, I really like our starting lineup. I think we have 4 really good basketball players and a really good glue guy in Connor Enright, and then our bench is young but decently talented and shoots the ball well generally. So this team has a lot of potential, but they should win this game by 10 is my take. And if they don't get that done, that's gonna be one of their disappointing results of the year, in my opinion.
I am excited.
Bottom of the barrel in the Big Ten.
I'm excited to watch the highlights. I'm assuming we're gonna figure out a way to pull this one out. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not going to have a strong opinion on this basketball team until we get 4 or 5 games in the conference play and things kind of shake out. So
I'm just telling you how I'm evaluating them. I don't have a real opinion on them, but I'm just telling you how I'm feeling about it.
I'm telling you, I have zero opinion on them. I haven't watched a dribble tonight.
That's what my eye test is at, but it's not tuned yet. It can't be
locked in, Brad. I have a singular focus. My singular focus is the Ohio State Buckeyes this week.
I mean, true. I mean, I'm very locked into Ohio State. It's very important.
You know what else I'm locked into, Brad?
What?
I'm locked into Heisman Doza. Did you vote for Heisman Doza today? I voted for Heisman Doza today.
I didn't. I don't know how much the fan vote. I feel like the Heisman winners in the Heisman committee have a bigger say than the fan vote. But
so. You know. Who do you think influences those committee voters? Yes, the play on the field, but when there's no play on the field, those people are scrolling through Twitter too. So the more they can see Fernando Mendoza's name in context with the Heisman, like, yes, I want that. So, yeah, I will be voting every day. Hopefully you join me or not. Like, Brad, you actually care.
I care. He deserves it. He's the betting favorite. I don't need to put a vote in. I think he's got it pretty well secured at this point. Obviously there's a big game coming up and it's going to have some impact on it, but I think he can, like, if we're just talking Heisman Doza, like, I think he can lose this game and win the Heisman.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think the two are I think they're mutually exclusive events.
Yeah,
but that's not, we're going to hold game prediction, game preview for now.
I don't think he's going to have a bad game. So obviously, we're going to preview the game, but yeah, obviously, if he has a bad game, it comes in question, right?
I know that we already put a bow on Purdue. You didn't even want to appear on the show to talk about it, but did you see Coach Corso's final, real final headgear?
No, I must have missed that.
Unbelievable moment. He put on the bison head. I put up a picture. Angelo's in the chat. What up, Angelo? First team. We're gonna get to that in a second too. But they announced the first team they announced all Big Ten. Not all the All Big Ten. They announced all Big Ten defensive teams and all Big Ten special teams. They held off on the offense, so that's why I'm kind of glad we kind of got pushed to Wednesday night. We had to talk about the all Big Ten guys because
they didn't announce offense yet, which is really funny because everyone's probably anticipating like who's going to win Big Ten Player of the Year, Sain or Mendoza. That's really what the Is there an MVP and a Offensive Player of the Year? Are there 2 separate awards in the Big Ten?
No, I think it's just Player of the Year, but somebody can stack on that.
It's just Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year. So it's between Sain and Mendoza for that. Very impressive 9 all Big Ten players on defense.
I could see them doing something crazy like giving it to Emmett Johnson's the Nebraska running back, right?
Yeah, he's not going to win Offensive Player of the Year.
I can see them doing something weird. You know what I mean? Just like everyone's looking one way and they zig when everyone thinks you're going to zag.
No, I actually couldn't see them doing that at all, to be honest. like if that happens, I'd be utterly shocked. Like, there's just no way.
That's hilarious. Did you know, Brad, this was the first undefeated regular season in Indiana University history.
Yeah, I did know that. Even though they did win that title in 85.
45.
45. They didn't lose that year, I'm pretty sure. Or no, was it a loss in a...
I think they had 3 losses or something like that. They were co-champions in the Big Ten. I want to say. Or something. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. But no. And I don't know if you saw me going through receipts last week because we haven't spoke.
What kind of receipts?
See, this guy doesn't even use Twitter. Wonders why he doesn't get more interaction.
I don't care.
Did you get a chance to look at either the Don Fisher recap video or Edward Catone's masterclass?
Yeah. Of course I watched
phenomenal stuff.
Of course I watched the Catone and the Don Fisher.
I don't know. I don't know with you these days.
Oh, come on. I care.
Make sure your
I'm so locked, dude. I've been enjoying this season. Let me tell you, this has been the best.
Make sure your background's blurred out or the corner of the TV is covered because I don't want to. I'm not trying to. We're not rerunning. We're not running the Indiana game here. We don't need to get struck for that.
Yeah. I'll stand in front of the TV like this.
There you go. That's good stuff. Did you see Fernando Mendoza officially signed as an Adidas athlete?
Yeah, I did. This is a cool pose, cool thing. And then I also saw like a headphone commercial that he did. It was really dorky on TV. But the photo shoot for the Adidas made him look sick. I like that. I like what they're
photo shoot.
A lot of NIL, as he should.
Yeah, if you look at, I think Zach Osterman pointed this out, but if you look at Adidas NIL, call it the NIL roster, it's like now it's Mendoza, it's Jeremiah Smith, who's going to be playing in this game as well. It's Travis Hunter, who was last year's Heisman. Then you look at the NFL, they have Pat Mahomes. I forget who the other name on that list was.
Come play quarterback in Indiana.
Huh?
Come play quarterback in Indiana.
Exactly. And that's significant. Like I personally give Adidas a lot of shit. And so I will also give them credit where credit is due. And this is awesome. And so like pull me back in slightly. I can't lie. So like I was like, it's trending in the right direction. They also signed unrelated, but signed Club 520 to the first podcast studio, I think, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's sick.
But Adidas
deserves it. You know, he's a good kid. He works hard. And he
deserves it.
He deserves Adidas photo shoots. God damn it. He works too hard at it, you know? And yeah, you know, he may be a dorky kid, but he's our dorky kid. You know, he's going to win the Heisman. And his speech is going to be something else. Let me tell you. It's going to be memorable.
Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. Did you see Dan Hope be a disingenuous journalist this week?
Yeah.
Crazy. I will throw in a caveat.
I mean, it wasn't too. I feel like anyone who watched the video, which was pretty accessible, like saw that Mendoza was clearly more so comparing Caleb Downs to Ed Reed than anything else, and more so, yeah. I think anyone who watched that video knows.
Taylor from Bite Size Bison, who he made an announcement that he's stopping his blog or his Substack, which is funny enough that he's releasing as much content as he is this week. He's been like all over the place. But he said that when he was on the Ohio State beat, he worked like with that guy, and he said that guy is actually like a good dude who means well. And so I'll take the personal account and I'll obviously pull back a little bit. But I think like shout out to James Boyd, who was the first person I saw to put him on blast. Like, yeah, that should be called out. Like that's garbage. That wasn't the quote, and you were misusing a quote. And so I don't know. I had no problem with how that kind of panned out.
Yeah.
Did you see Alabama decide to follow Indiana's lead and move their I think it was USF they had scheduled, and now they're going to play Chattanooga next year.
Mm-hmm. That's good. It's good for them. I mean, USF got Brian Hartline this week.
USF did get Brian Hartline. You want to talk about that right now? Because I've lots.
That's crazy. That's smoke because we're playing at Ohio State this week. I feel like that's a big distraction around there.
Oh, it's on the list, Brad. It's on the list. That was kind of my point. And we can kind of talk about all of this because first of all, I think it's a great hire for a school like USF. You give somebody like
don't have a horrible hire personally, but
no, they have a big budget.
I might be wrong.
You
I
can
don't know.
fail in the first couple of years and be fine. You know what I mean? Like you're in South Florida. It's not a bad place to live. Like
He's probably gonna get really
it's
good
good.
players, but maybe not figure out the winning yet. But that might just come. You know, he's a
Well, it depends
talented
on what
young
his staff
coach.
looks like.
He's a talented young coach with very good recruiting skills and relationship building skills. And I'm not sure how good he is as a scheme guy. It seems like his first year as OC, they don't score as many points as Ohio State usually scores. So, as much as you would think with the players they have, but I mean they've had a good year. But I think it's a good. It's a definitely a high risk, high reward hire. Depending
I
on
don't
what
know.
he
I think
does.
that I
He's
think he
definitely going to
actually
be
may
able to
end
get
up being a
players,
better
but
head
can they
coach.
win?
I think he
That's
may
the
end up being a.
whole.
Go ahead.
That's it. That's all I got.
Oh. I think he may end up being a better head coach than he was a coordinator, only because I think his skills are like that, almost like a GM-esque style of like recruiting and who to target and development and all of that. And if you pair him with like a scheme guru-esque offensive coordinator,
Like a Jerry Neuheisel.
like a Jerry Neuheisel, like sure, you know what I mean. But name somebody, right? Probably, or like a Chip Kelly.
I mean, Jerry Neuheisel.
Chip Kelly might be also end up taking that Ohio State job. Who knows? You know what I mean? But like, you know what I mean? I'm just throwing out random names, right? Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, but I think it's a good hire. Then you turn that, like, look at where he can recruit from primarily in Florida, and like, yeah, he's probably going to be able to recruit pretty easily to that school. I think it actually really affects Ohio State. And I tweeted like, yeah, he's obviously 100% focused on the championship game and not on building USF's roster. But I mean, naturally, it's a distraction. Like the portal opens January 2nd. Regardless of if he say he's going to coach through the rest of the playoff, right? And I think that's crazy.
It's not going to distract him this week, but it's definitely going to affect Ohio State in their playoff run. I'd say more so. Definitely going to do that. Is he going to make it to the championship game?
I don't think so. I mean, let me put it to you this way.
Is he even going to make it to the semis?
In my personal opinion, once somebody takes a different job, like they're already out. He's the head coach of USF. Like people were like, "Oh, you think that he's going to be able to take like any of Ohio State's like impact players or top guys to USF?" It's like, no, he's not going to be able to take like. I don't think Sonny Styles is eligibility, right? But pick Bo Jackson, right? Bo Jackson's not
Jeremiah Smith.
Jeremiah Smith isn't following.
You can go
Heartline to USF, right? But
the Florida guy.
Maybe some of those like some of the freshmen or sophomore wide receivers who don't play much, who are going to be next up, maybe those guys who committed to Brian Hartline follow him, right? Like maybe some of these younger guys who aren't going to get playing time next year at Ohio State, maybe those guys follow him. Maybe they're thinking about following him when he's standing in the room directing the offense, right? So it's like, I think it's crazy. I would be saying this about any offensive coordinator. Like Will Stein, I don't think should coach through the playoff, right? I think it'd be irresponsible because you could be looking at any of those guys being like, okay, cool, like let's put in this offense. And then like, who wants to come to Kentucky?
Oregon's
right?
in a tough spot, and I'm worried about Haynes and Shanahan.
I am also worried. I'm like worried in the sense that they're gonna end up getting head coaching jobs, but like if you posed that hypothetical, I would feel the same way. Very happy for those guys. Obviously, you want people to continue to move up, and if those are the aspirations those guys have, like when you get offered positions like that that are worthy of taking, you have to take them. At the same time, if that were the case, my opinion would be absolutely under no circumstances would I want them coaching another second. You know what I mean? Like once you make the decision to move on, you have to move on because we have to move on. I can't have that lingering like who's going to come with me, what half in the door, half out the door. Like maybe I'm the crazy one, but to me, that's just once you commit to a different job, that's got to be it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, really we haven't even talked about Oregon. It kind of is a good segue, I guess, because Oregon losing two coordinators to head coaching jobs.
One of them was a co-coordinator. I think the defensive coordinator was a co-coordinator, but yeah.
But Tosh Lupoy was the guy. That's why he got the Cal job. So it's definitely going to be a big impact. I don't know how long those guys are going to be able to coach. The semifinals are in January 1st, or the quarterfinals are January 1st. So it's like puts you in a real bind. Like Oh, you're going to coach 3 more games for another school. You just got hired somewhere else. It's a really tough spot to be
You're
in.
gonna run.
That's kind of why
let me pose this for you,
they
Brad.
need to change the rules. They need to follow an
100%.
NFL style format. Like if they're going to go full semi-pro, like go full semi-pro. Like make it more organized. Like it has to be.
Let me pose this question for you too, or throw this at you. The portal opens January 2nd and closes 15 days later on January 17th, and that's it. So, like Ohio State, right? Like regardless of what happens this weekend, we presume both teams are going to get buys, right? So Ohio or any team, right? Or say Oregon gets a bye. Take the team out of it, right? Team gets a bye. Your first game is January 1st. The portal opens January 2nd. If you win your first game, you're going to run the portal for your new team while also doing game prep. Like, do you see where this doesn't make sense? Where there's a conflict of interest where like all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we're going to put in this game plan, but also like you have 15 days to decide if you're going to come with me. And then if we just both decide we're leaving, like you have to leave in 15 days, but I'm staying. Do you see where like the players can't decide to leave?
Yeah. Tosh Lupoy has to try to keep Jaron Sagapatele on his team, on his football team.
While also trying to figure out how to stop what game plan for who's.
It's totally unfair for everyone involved.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
Oregon football players, Dan Lanning, Tosh Lupoy. It's not good for any of them. It's horrible.
And you didn't even mention. Think about the schools that are paying that contract to get the new coach. You think they want to pay that contract for the new coach and then just say, fuck the 2026 season. I don't care about signing day, which opened today and closes the 5th, I think, right? Yeah. Or Sunday, maybe. Or maybe I don't even know how signing day works anymore because they changed all the rules. And then the portal, and you're going to punt on 2026. Like if you're cool with punting on the 2026 season, or you're that confident in your roster depth that you can withstand not adding anyone in the portal or signing a strong class in 2026, like these are the conversations that are being had. And like, I'm not like, this isn't rocket science. Like this is reality. Like you can't have these two high level jobs at the same time and be successful at both. And if like these guys try, like they're going to be pulled in different directions. And it brings me to like 2 years ago over the weekend was Indiana hired Curt Cignetti, right? Mm-hmm. And everything he said in the first week was, I'm staying at James Madison and I'm going to coach them through the bowl game. And a week later, his entire staff was in Bloomington and they were working the roster, right? Like it sounds great in the moment and it makes everybody feel good and like makes it sting a little bit less, but it's like, not realistic.
Like everyone, we forget the fact that basically this whole, like, we've never seen a coaching carousel like this in quite some time. If you've ever been following the sport, like I've never seen so many Power 4 jobs open at once. I don't think it's ever happened in my lifetime. To see it unfold is clearly an effect caused by another thing that we haven't seen in our lifetimes either, which is an absolute bottom feeder becoming a perennial national champion contender within 2 years. And obviously that's where the effect is coming, and everyone's trying to recreate the Cignetti effect, but yet not going to start right away once they get the job, which is exactly what he did. So it's it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. The other mistake people make, and that can segue us into the Penn State discussion if you want to have it, is like making the mistake that Curt Cignetti isn't an outlier, or somebody like Curt Cignetti, or who's the Sataki? Is that the BYU coach?
Yeah, Penn State, their coaching search absolutely.
They went after BYU's coach. They went after Tennessee's
They're
coach.
Giving everyone extensions. They're getting everybody. It's awesome. Sick. Good for Sataki, man. He deserves it. He's such a good fit over there at BYU too. Like
he's an alum.
Fits the exact type of player they're trying to get to, which is like, obviously the big Polynesian community, which is heavily involved in Mormon culture as well. So it really does fit. It's an absolute fit, and he's a great football coach and a great leader of men. So it's an absolute perfect fit for both worlds. And I really wouldn't see like Penn State working for him. Really.
No, it didn't make any sense.
Penn State, BYU is such a different job than everything else because they have the mission rule, and it does give them some sort of competitive advantage in ways, and they have a ton of money. Like that's not a job you necessarily once you have want to leave. So it's you can work that BYU is going to stick around just for people like this Big 12 title game of BYU Texas Tech. Like that's going to be you're going to see that a lot in the next 5 years.
I would 100% agree. I think people forget and it almost feels disrespectful to say like SMU because I think you could even add another level to it where it's like, yeah, BYU's got a shitload of money. They just gave AJ Dybanta $7 million, $8 million. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think they're capable of giving the head football coach in today's climate? That's crazy that their plan was to go.
I was so right about AJ Dybanta not being the number one pick, not really being kind of.
This isn't a basketball.
Maybe a guy that should try maybe like getting better at basketball instead of just trying to be the best athlete on the floor.
On the flip side, look at what Penn State moved away from, where you were like, use Nebraska as a warning, like don't just because it's slightly rough right now, move on from James Franklin. And James Franklin goes to Virginia Tech and flips essentially his entire class from Penn State, and they're a top 25 class going into next year.
Good for him. Good for him. James
Franklin, there was two guys that ended up.
What I say. Don't do it. I told them, it's a dumb decision. Virginia Tech's gonna be good. They're gonna win an ACC title in the next 5 years. I'm guarantee it. Guarantee it. I mean, they're so dumb for firing James Franklin. They're gonna end up a perennial like 6-win, 7-win team at best, maybe 8.
Well, it's gotten to the point in their coaching search, Penn State, where they're just like, let's hire the interim, and it's like that's.
They should have talked to Matt Campbell a while ago. They should have done a lot of things. Bob Chesney. I feel like that one.
Chesney was the one. If we want to get like, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this stuff, right? But I do spend a lot of time looking at it. And like, if you're looking for somebody who the Penn State fans were describing, right? It's somebody who has ties to the Northeast, to the Boston, Washington corridor, or whatever people, right? And that ties that area and been successful. And it's like Chesney from Massachusetts down to Virginia across multiple different levels. Like he was literally the quote unquote Signetti, and he literally came from JMU. Like
I have an idea.
Maybe they interviewed him and he wasn't their cup of tea. I don't know. But in terms of what their fan base has been describing, that was the guy. And for him to take the UCLA job with no regional ties to LA.
Who cares? It's LA, dude. He can dude, you're the UCLA coach, you walk into modern day high school, you're gonna be just fine.
No, I mean, I get it. He's going to be able to recruit. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't when you looked at fit, right? And you can't do regional fit for everything, right? I sat here last week and was like, all these jobs are going to get hired regionally. And then Summerall went to Florida and Kiffin ended up taking LSU and Golish ended up
not at all what we expected.
We got them all wrong.
About this.
We got them all wrong.
Losing. Oh, man.
But yeah, no, it was surprising, and for like,
can I give a shout out here?
Yeah,
I remember watching Tavita Pritchard play in college. Pac-12 memory of the week. He got the head coaching job at Stanford. I feel very old with that. Tavita Pritchard is the head coach. He was he might have been Luck's backup for a little bit.
I do think they played together.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure.
He's good.
But yeah, it's I have no idea who they're going to hire because it seems like it's either like they think it's going to be Kalen DeBoer or Mike Tomlin or Brian Dable. Like, who knows? So that's something to definitely keep an eye on. But yeah, wild turn of events there. Did you see that for the third year in a row, Brian Haynes has been recognized as a Broyles Award semifinalist?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And you can vote once a day. Fan vote for Brian Haynes to win the Broyles Award. The guys deserved it last year, probably deserved it the year before. I mean, me and you watched some JMU in the offseason preparing to watch the 2024 Hoosiers, but I didn't watch all of James Madison, so I can't definitively say whether or not he deserved it the year before, but definitely deserves it this year. And while, like, listen, they might end up giving it to Patricia because of the way the stats look, I don't know. I'm backing my guy.
Yeah.
Did you see?
I know what I was looking at.
What?
You know how we had like 9 all conference guys on defense? Like pretty
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
Decent. Like very good. You want to know how many Ohio State had?
What, 12?
13. That's crazy.
How
That's
how
so
many first teamers though?
3, and they swept all the positional awards. So 6.
It's a good team. It's a lot of talent.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Just saying, that's all media. That's all hoopla. It's all
No, it's media and coaches, isn't it?
Huh?
Isn't it media and coaches?
Yeah. Indiana's was
No, I'm not going to sit here and like discount all Big Ten. Like, yeah, those guys let up like less than 10 points a game. Like,
they're studs.
That was a historically good defense, regardless of their schedule and whether or not they were challenged at all. And a large reason why they
leader Guys Mendoza. It's an insane matchup, and we gotta get through the smoke. We gotta go. We gotta go. We're 30 minutes in. We haven't even talked about the game yet.
Did you see Brian Buckeye stats write up about Indiana's run game? I didn't read all of it. It was hilarious. He said Mendoza had a noodle arm. It's just a lot of that's been honestly the biggest like grift, aside from like you guys just started watching football last year, that I've seen. That one took a decent amount of effort, but just like if you think Mendoza doesn't have an arm, like brother, this is gonna be a long Saturday.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a really good matchup. Like it's the best versus the best. It's 1 versus 2. It's game of the century. Like back in the day, like history wise, like they would call 1 playing 2 before, not in a bowl game like that. Those would be considered games of the century. Those are iconic matchups that only come by every once in a while. That's not the national championship. It very rarely occurs where 1 meets 2. I mean, with the playoff coming up, very much less so. It didn't happen in the playoff last year. With the 4-team playoff, there were times it didn't happen. So it's a rare phenomenon, and we're getting it on Saturday. The only 2 undefeateds left in the year, 2 best teams all year. They've absolutely dominated everyone they've played. It's gonna be fun to watch. It's on Fox too. I thought it was gonna be on CBS. I was wrong about that.
It's on Fox. It's on at 8 p.m. at night.
Stat correction. I said it was on CBS.
8 p.m. Eastern.
It was on CBS last year, so it's probably rotating. It's like the Super Bowl.
Did you see the ticket? I don't have it written down, but did you see the ticket prices or the get-in prices compared to last year?
Are they like double?
Last year, you were able to get tickets to the Big Ten championship game for $12.
Yeah.
This year, they're like 100 times that.
Yeah, I know. I should have bought mine earlier, so I'm not going, which is unfortunate.
No, I think they might be like $600, $700, $800 somewhere around there. God damn it! Oh my god, that wasn't on purpose. I swear.
What?
I'm not even gonna acknowledge it. We're gonna move on. I'm gonna speed run some of the awards our guys are getting recognized for. Nico Radicic, the Bakken Anderson Kicker of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking. He still can't kick outside the 50. I know he didn't miss a kick all year. He's automatic inside the 50.
He was like 70 for 70 on extra points, Brad. I'm gonna,
extra points.
In this one instance, I'm gonna go with the voters and not the master of the eye test for whether or not.
Don't give me an extra point fucking stat ever again. All right, like that's expected. That's standard. All right, come on.
Gotta make them.
Come on, man.
Guys, automatic.
These extra points are kicked at the 2. They're less than 20-yard kicks.
Guys, automatic. Don't you give me that. I can't believe you're giving me that. That's insane.
I'm not giving you anything.
Fernando Mendoza.
It's automatic. I'm acknowledging it, but don't like throw extra point stats at me.
You're gonna say 1 point isn't important. That's insane. Every inch matters. If every inch matters, every point matters like that much more.
That's all I'm saying. You're supposed to go 100%. I'm just saying.
That's
He
right.
deserves it because his field
Colorado
goals were
Kugel
amazing.
says ND kicker missed an extra point, and that's why they lost versus
Well,
A&M. And
that's
he's right.
Tyler Buckner trying to be a drama queen and dropping the ball on purpose so he can get the camera pointed at him 20 times.
No. That is literally the difference in whether or not Notre Dame potentially, like, Notre Dame is now in a position. We didn't talk about the college football playoff rankings
Did you know Ty Simpson got pulled for Tyler Buckner in a football game at Alabama?
Wasn't it against USF?
It was against Alex Golesh, USF. It's funny how kind of things evolve.
And now he's at Auburn.
Who's at Auburn?
Golesh.
Oh, Golesh. We thought he was going to Arkansas.
I thought he was going to Florida.
Florida made the most sense. But, I mean, we saw the reports for Arkansas before the
It's funny. I don't have we do have to talk about the college football playoff rankings. I don't have it. I don't have that written down. I was going to fly right past it. But, yeah, we'll talk about it when I get through the award stuff. Because I want to have this Notre Dame conversation.
Yeah.
I think everybody's going to assume what my opinion on this is going to be, and I think I'm going to swerve everybody. I don't know. We'll see. But Fernando Mendoza, Walter Camp,
I don't even know what my stance is, to be honest.
Walter Camp Award finalist.
Who?
Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, stud.
And also unrelated to the Hoosiers, but related to this football game this weekend, they named Arvell Reese the Buckus Award winner. So shout out to Arvell Reese. I would have thought Jacob Rodriguez was running away with that, but they gave it to Reese. Yeah, listen, he earned it. So shout out to Arvell Reese.
Wow. And here, I saw people putting Jacob Rodriguez as like their Heisman winner.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, craziness. All Big Ten, like I said before, defense was announced. First team was Fisher. Tyreek Tucker was on the first team. Lou Moore, first team. And obviously D'Angelo Pons was first teamer as well. Amari Farrell and Roe Hardy were second teamers. Bones Jones was the third teamer. And honorable mentions were Stephen Daly and Mikal Kamara. You'd also like to think that had he stayed healthy, Kellen Wyatt would have ended up somewhere on this list because his numbers still stack up to the rest of the conference.
I feel like if we're fully healthy, we have 10 on defense because Kylan Wyatt was well on his way to a All-American or All-Conference season. Mikal Kamara deserving. Fisher and Jones very deserving. Hardy just missed out, it sounds like. Oh, wait, no, they had all three. All three were all big.
No, Hardy was a second teamer.
Yeah. And then Pons, Farrell, and Lou Moore. Sorry, I'm going off my memory here. Cut me some slack, But, super well-deserving. Sharp, Boykin, and Wheeler, the only starters really left off. And, I feel like all those guys had very good seasons. But, yeah.
Landino probably could have been on here, too.
Landino, I feel like, is probably the biggest snub out of those guys.
100%. I actually just assumed he was on here. I just realized he wasn't.
Boykin maybe deserves some more flowers. Like, it's surprising not seeing him as because I feel like he had 3 picks. Like I feel like he had the numbers to get there. Being on a top 2 nationally defense and all.
You would think.
I guess there's
we
other
also
players
got,
in the conference, but
like I said, we got these special teams as well. Nico Radicic, first teamer, all Big Ten special teams, first teamer, and Mark Langston, obviously a first teamer. Jonathan Brady, second team, all Big Ten.
He deserves it. He's been great all year. I mean, we saw Miles Price really make a name for himself this year.
Yeah, both guys who returned.
Angelo, Ohio State has the whole team on the list, man.
And then Kurt Cignetti for the second year in a row has won Big Ten Coach of the Year. And according to Greg Campbell, who's Indiana's SID, Cignetti is the first coach to win both the coaches and the media award both years or 2 years in a row.
Sig was? Unreal run. I mean, how does a recruit not want to go play for them at this point? Urban Meyer's like the last guy to win back-to-back, right? Or Jim? So we're talking Urban.
We don't
Jim.
even know.
Doesn't even matter. Urban, Jim, Kurt Cignetti. Like, that's the level he's at. People need to start recognizing that.
And then speaking of recruiting, Brad, signing day literally started today, and there weren't any surprises. We were watching the commitment of Matt Sieg. Matt Sieg swerved everybody. He ended up going to West Virginia. So Indiana's class, I think they signed all 22 guys today. looks like they're just done. So obviously
Nice.
we really
Congrats
like
to
the
those
guys they
guys.
have in that room, and we're not going to get into that because there's still a lot of season to be played left. But it seems like they're going to be loading up for another big portal clash, just given the way the roster is shaking out. Brad, you had the number last week or 2 weeks ago, but it's going to be they have what, like 28 upperclassmen on this roster or something like that.
A lot. They have a
There's a
lot.
lot, so they're going to have
So
there's going to be a
they're
lot
gonna
of
have a lot of
opportunity
spots
for.
available. Guys are gonna leave too. It's it's just what's gonna happen. They're gonna bring in a transfer class of around 10 to 20.
Yeah.
So,
But this
depending
is
on how many
probably
leave,
I would guess
you know.
this is probably the last year that they're going to go monster portal class, and I think that you start to see them shift more toward bigger high school classes versus bigger portal classes. But they need to
100%.
start.
And
They need to go
I
that
think
route.
this transfer class is gonna be pretty elite.
And
It has
obviously,
to be, to be
it would be ideal if they target multi-year transfers. Like we'll get into the guys in
Oh
Ohio
yeah, because
State's
they're gonna be
roster,
able to
but
get their cream of the crop. Like you see a guy like
Caleb
um,
Downs.
no, hear me out. Colt Joseph.
No, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying Caleb Downs. Okay, I want to clarify this before people freak out. I'm not saying Caleb Downs is transferring to Indiana. I'm saying somebody like Caleb Downs, who's an impact player who's going to play for more than 1 year. Caleb Downs transferred as a sophomore. You got him as a sophomore. You got him as a junior. Players like him.
Yeah. 100.
I'm
Yeah.
not
No,
saying he's not transferring. The only place
we
for that kid's going
understand.
is the draft.
We understand.
I just need to get that needed to be out there just in
Okay.
case there's new listeners this week, Brad. I need people to know that I'm not a psychopath. I have common sense. But yeah, signing day was today, and our class is awesome. We've broken down the class at different points. We'll get into the class again, obviously, once the off season hits. But they're in a really good spot, and yeah, I'm excited. There was some interesting things that happened, obviously, in different fronts and with all the coaching movement. But that's kind of not the point of this podcast. So we can move on. And then I wrote down Indiana basketball is playing now.
Yeah.
And maybe don't look at the score. Come talk football.
Oh man, this is not good. Not good at all, Keys.
All right, let's talk about the CFP rankings, Brad.
All right. Hold on. All right.
Where do you want to start?
By the way, 32 on 24/7. So just missed the top 25, but still, I'd say a pretty strong class. You know, we're going to trust Signetti's talent evaluation until proven otherwise, and we'll see what young guys potentially hit the portal from the squad to, you know, does Jamari?
I don't know. I look
for his senior year. I'm not sure.
I still look at recruiting this way, Brad. Like, to use a Jay Timmons as an example, right? He commits to Indiana, he's a 3-star. He commits to Florida State, he's a 4-star. He commits to Ohio State, he's a 5-star, right? Like, I think if a Jaden Williams or a Henry Olinger or even like a Gabe Hill or a Cam McCaney or a like Scarface Hugan, like if any of Indiana's 4-stars or even like fringe 3-stars committed to like a quote unquote bigger brand, right? Like an Ohio State, a Bama, an Oregon, a Texas, a Georgia, like they're getting the bump, right? And I think we're probably a year or two away from those sites full blown conceding that they just don't understand it as well as Indiana does, or as well as Signetti does. I don't want to say Indiana, but as well as Signetti does. So we're probably a year away from the Bloomington bump, but I think they're a lot better than the 32nd class in the nation. That's what I would bet.
Yeah, I'd probably bet money on it. I mean, they're better than the 55th best team in the country this year. So that's 24/7's talent composite that I'm referring to. So shows how much they need talent to even win. It's really just about, you know, in terms of standards of the roster based on that metric, same site, same website, like they're improving. So there's a spin for you.
I like it.
Huh?
All right, college football.
I just came up with that too. I just thought of it. It just came to me.
College football playoff. Obviously, the big debate, Brad, has been Miami versus Notre Dame. Who deserves that spot? You have the head-to-head. You have who's played better at this current moment. the interesting thing the committee did this past week was slide Notre Dame back one. So what did
I
that
think
do?
that made a lot of sense to me.
And it logically it makes sense, but based on the way they've produced the rankings over the last couple of weeks, it made no sense. You know what I mean?
Because A&M lost, so that loss is worse than what it was.
That's the part I didn't factor in.
Yeah, that's why it happened. A&M lost.
But then that makes Texas's argument better. I don't know.
No.
I think the whole thing's convoluted, but I do think that Notre Dame team is playing as well as anybody in the country. And if there's a scenario where they get left out, it would be hilarious, tragic for that fan base, and a lesson.
All right, so Keezer, here's the break. Here's the real, kicker. Okay, auto qualifiers. As of right now, Ohio State, because they're the highest ranked Big Ten team. Georgia's the highest ranked SEC team. Texas Tech is the highest ranked Big 12 team. Yes? Are we with me? Miami's the highest ranked ACC team. However, they're out in the field because there's still more conference champions that need to be had. Plus, the ACC title game is Virginia Duke. So Miami basically has no shot right now. Based on the field, which is interesting because maybe there is a debate that maybe they should be ranked higher than Notre Dame. Right?
I'm sorry, that who should be ranked higher than Notre Dame?
Miami.
Yeah, no, I think that they should be ranked higher than Notre Dame if you're going to base it off of head-to-head. But if you're going to set the precedent that you're not, that head-to-head doesn't matter and that week one matters even less and that you're going to go based on eye test, I think you can make the argument that eye test wise that Notre Dame looks like a stronger football team. I think if you're going to go based on merit and you're going to honor head to head, I think obviously the argument lives and dies with who won the football game. And Miami won the football game. I think that's it. That's the argument.
My take is, oh yeah, I think BYU should be in over both of them.
I agree. I think BYU's been incredibly disrespectful.
They have good wins too. Process. They have 3 or 4 top 25 wins. They're 11-1. They should be in over both of them. I think the problem solves itself if you just put BYU over Notre Dame and just kick Notre Dame and Miami out like they're just out. I think that would be fun because you have so then it'd be the winner of Duke, Virginia, unless Duke wins, and then there's a real North Texas. And then it's the winner, Tulane, the winner of Tulane, North Texas. That's a playoff game. Tulane, North Texas.
Neither of them have a head coach.
And then here's the thing. If Duke wins, I think James Madison is in over Duke. If they win,
and they don't have a head coach either.
Yeah, so it'd be Tulane and James Madison potentially. Tulane or North Texas, and then as the 11 seed. James Madison is the 12, and then BYU's your 10 seed. And then the rest as is fine. That's how I would do it. That's how it's probably going to unfold if Duke wins. If Virginia wins,
I do agree that the biggest problem. I agree that the biggest problem is BYU's misranked. I think they should be above all these 2-loss teams for sure.
Yeah, that's the issue. BYU should be above Notre Dame at least.
Everybody's. Yeah, I was gonna say everybody has articulated their problems with the committee. It's just the biggest problem has been there's a lack of consistency. It's like 1 week the eye test matters more. 1 week they honor this metric more. Like 1 week there doesn't seem to be actual rules that they're adhering to where you're just trying at least your best to take human opinion out of it, right? Where at least based on this set of rules, right? We stayed within the criteria and we can lean on the criteria. And maybe it's not perfect, but at least we have something, right? It just feels like every week they go in there and throw a bunch of things at the wall and whatever sticks, and then they get asked for an explanation and there isn't an explanation. And so it just creates a bunch of chaos. I don't know. But it's eventually they're going to get, at the end of the day, none of this matters anyway. And as long as they get the best 12 teams in there
it does matter because this year BYU we asked all offseason who's going to be this year's Indiana. Obviously it's Indiana. But if we're going to talk comparison, BYU is this year's Indiana. And here's why. Their issue is that there's a lot more 2-loss SEC teams as opposed to 3-loss last year. So they're getting that treatment that Indiana probably would have received if there was this many SEC 2-loss teams, right? They're getting that treatment. And Notre Dame's a 2-loss team this year,
And they don't get the benefit of being in the Big Ten.
Yeah, exactly. So BYU is being misranked. They're this year's Indiana. So as avid supporters of Indiana, we have to be pro BYU. We need to fight this fight for BYU to get into the playoff.
Kidding me?
I mean, if BYU wins and beats Texas Tech, they're in. And then Texas Tech's probably going to still be in too. That's how it should be. Like that, they could solve it themselves. But I don't know. And then you have Bama. I think Bama should be in no matter what. Like that's kind of my take.
I also agree. I think making the conference championship has to matter. And I liked that part of the argument that people were making this week where like, what do you do with a 3-loss Bama team? Well, it's like this is technically the postseason, right? And so like it's hard to be like in a sense like to argue these games matter and then to say like losing it you still should get like it feels like you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth. But I do think that putting yourself in a position and looking like a team that deserves to be there, they're both important. But if you're gonna like weigh one more than the other, I feel like you have to weigh the body of work.
Yeah.
So I would agree with you that if it's a close loss, but then you open up you open it up to interpretation, right? And people have an argument, and that's why it's fun, and that's why they should televise these arguments. It's like I want to know what and not like what you tell. I want to know what the arguments were and why is BYU 10 or why is BYU like why is Notre Dame 10? Like why is BYU 11? Why is Oklahoma 8? How come Oklahoma didn't jump A&M? How come Ole Miss?
The top 9's locked in going into next week.
Why does Ole Miss get to?
And then BYU should be 10, and then like I think the committee kind of nailed it. Like it's very similar to the BCS, which I'm a big advocate of. I think it's the right way to do it. Just do BCS and then 12 team structure that we already have. Combine, blend. It's the perfect evolution of the sport. Anyways.
But here, let me.
They nailed it. Like, because we have Duke
hold on.
and Virginia playing.
Can I cut you off real quick and ask you a question?
Yeah.
With the Florida State situation from a few years ago in mind, one, do you treat a head coach or a coordinator? Sorry, do you treat a head coach or a coordinator the same way you would treat a quarterback? And then what do you like? How do you feel about the committee's decision to essentially do nothing about Oregon losing both its coordinators and Ole Miss losing its head coach and A&M losing a coordinator and Alabama losing a co-coordinator?
We start punishing the players for poor scheduling of the season of the sport, then we're losing the plot here. It's that just can't happen. I would love to be evil and like serve justice to Florida State, but that's just unfair to the kids. Like what they did to those Florida State kids was absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. Just leave Bama.
I'm
sorry you needed an excuse to put Bama in because they lost that head-to-head to Texas. So it should have been the 3 undefeateds in Texas. Absolutely disgusting what they did to Florida State. Totally just leaving an undefeated ACC champion out of the playoff.
Well, what it did was killed the conference. That's why we have a Power 2 right now and not an actual Power 4. So
bad what they did to the sport that day. And I was right. I'm always right when that type of shit goes down. I'm that passionate about it. And I'm trying to protect college football. Like people talk about future college football commissioners, like
college football.
I mean, it's how I got to be in the discussion. It's just ridiculous. All right, Indiana's chipping away a little bit here.
Okay, so real quick before we move on, run me through the scenario where Notre Dame ends up out because I don't understand it.
There is no scenario where Notre Dame ends up out, I don't think, based on the 10 spot because
That's what I'm saying. So why were people making that a hypothetical?
Wait. Here's the scenario. BYU wins.
BYU wins and jumps them, and then
BYU jumps, and also Texas Tech doesn't drop below. Because they're 4 in the country, they won't drop that. They won't.
Does a 2-loss Texas Tech look? What is? I don't even want to debate.
11-2 Texas Tech is in. I think the top 9 is locked in the field.
Interesting. Yeah, I think Notre Dame gets in.
I'm rooting for BYU to get in because I think they deserve to be in, but they're not.
I agree.
They should be 10 right now. and that Big 12 game shouldn't. In a way, they are creating more intrigue into the Big 12 title game, but it's ESPN event, mind you. That's insane. That was insane realization right there. That's crazy. I don't know how many people got that. But yeah, I'm rooting for BYU. It'd be very cool to see Duke win, and then we get a North Texas James Madison 11-12. I think that would be awesome. But I think it would be cool if Virginia got in. I think that'd be a great story for Virginia.
I think it would be funny given the fact that Indiana.
I want Virginia, North Texas, and James Madison in if they all win, because they'd be North Texas is a 12-win team with a loss to.
I don't think
how bad is their loss? How bad is they lost to USF? Matt Golesh, who just took the fucking Auburn job.
I don't think what's his name coaches through the he's offering dudes for Oklahoma State left and right. Like he's not gonna be coaching them through what could be a champion. Like these guys are. It is crazy to run two jobs at the same time. You just can't do it.
Yeah, I know. And Chesney's gone. It's tough, but
all these guys are gone.
Yeah, that's why they need to fix the schedule, because we could have been 9-10 seed Virginia, 11 seed.
But everybody's like, oh, let's just fix the schedule. Let's just fix the schedule. It's like a greedy LSU was always going to bully its way into the Lane Kiffin discussion, regardless of if it was fair on the schedule or not. Like at the end of the day, when they wanted that to happen, it was going to happen on their timeline. And obviously it's unfair you're taking the CEO of a company and removing him during it's never pretty. It can't be pretty. There's no good time for that. So like I do agree that the schedule is like in a bad spot, but like especially for this Lane Kiffin situation, like the Lane Kiffin situation is a complete outlier. Like coups like this don't happen.
You know what's fucked? Like I get we're talking about the coaching, but I know I'm changing the subject here, but BYU is 6th in strength of record, and the committee literally said they're going to look more into strength of record this year. What's up with that? They're higher than Texas Tech, and they have the same record.
Well, maybe because they just prove they have a bunch of money, they'll get moved up based on brand status. Who knows? If they send a bunch of crumble cookie to
any real ball knower knows BYU is a brand.
No, 100%. Maybe Crumble Cookie needs to step up and sponsor the college football playoff meetings. Send some cookies. Maybe they'll move up to 10 next week.
Yeah, it's disgusting what they're doing to BYU, to be honest. Like they totally have the resume to be in. Looking at it objectively, based on their own rankings too. They beat Arizona. They beat Utah. Those are both top 20 teams in college football, according to their rankings. Am I crazy? What is going on, man? Jeez. It's crazy. We haven't even talked about the game yet, God damn it.
Are you right? Let's get into it. Let's talk
about it. We're going to have to hustle the history lesson. I just have a stat for you. How about that?
I love it.
Here's a little, because we know Ohio State. They're the most traditionally rich school in the conference.
Nope. Actually, well, in the conference. Good. I'm glad you said that, because I was going back and forth with, obviously, a friend of the show and voice of college football is Mark Rogers, talking about Ohio State, and he called them the winningest program in the sport. And I said, don't disrespect Yale like that.
Oh, Yale. Oh my God. All right. Well, I would put Alabama there, but like in the modern, like you want to hear something crazy? Well, there's a few things that are crazy. Woody Hayes won 9 of 10 in a stretch for Big Ten titles, from 68 to 77. That's pretty crazy, right?
That's pretty good.
Want to hear something crazier? Want to hear something more insane? Jim Tressel ended his run with 6 straight Big Ten titles.
That's crazy.
And then they implemented the Big Ten title game in that era. Ohio State has missed the Big Ten title game only 3 times.
Was it the last 3 years?
16 years. So they've made the Big Ten title game 13 of the last 16 years.
Isn't it the last 3 years though they've missed it?
What?
Big Ten title game?
They have not won the Big Ten since 2020. A year where they didn't technically play enough games to be in that title game, by the way. It should have been Northwestern Indiana. We'll die on that hill. Anyways. So
No, they literally changed the rules. They acknowledged they changed the rules.
Huh?
The conference literally got together and changed. They were like, Ohio State's too talented to not play in the Big Ten championship
game. They made a rule and then they changed it.
Correct.
Because to be fair, like Michigan kind of fucked them. It's kind of fuck you from Michigan. It was like, we're just not playing the big game. We're just not playing the game.
The Michigan was like, we're definitely going to lose and it's COVID, so we're out.
Oh, man. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's my little Ohio State history lesson. Also, we have not beaten Ohio State since 1988. Yep. So we're due.
100%. Couldn't be more due. No location, no like game time, no game line, no over under. Like,
what'd you say? Sorry, I was doing something. I'm telling my. Can you hear my roommates right now?
I mean, if I really try and listen, kind of, but like, no.
I'll just try to keep talking and I can't hear them.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I was saying like, no, we don't have a game line. We don't have a game time. We don't have a game location. Like what?
We don't. You don't have any of that.
Okay, well, the game's being played at Lucas.
Well, okay, this Saturday at 7 Central, 8 local kick in Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. The number 2 ranked Indiana Hoosiers are taking on the number 1 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes in what is going to be titled Game of the Century, as every 1-2 matchup is. It is a battle of David versus Goliath. However, David's been hitting the weights.
I'm glad you made that caveat.
David's been putting money into his physique. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to here. Can I sidebar you real quick because I made this point on Sunday night and
they haven't won since 1988. Keys, like they're so due.
No, that's what I mean. And I was talking to my dad about this because he was like,
and Ohio State knows it too. Ohio State knows how good this team is. Let me get that straight right now. They're not sleeping on this Indiana team. They played them last year. They know how good they are. They know how well they had to play. The way Ohio State played against Indiana was one of their best games of the year. I watch Ohio State all the time. That was one of the best games of the year when they played Indiana.
This guy's master of the eye test. He knows.
Those guys played very well. They were flying everywhere. Indiana was a very good team and underrated, much like BYU is this year.
Well, Brad, I want to say
I think Indiana last year beats BYU this year, but to teach their own. All right, that's whatever. That's a crazy argument that I just threw out there. Anyways, but they're similar. It's
hold on. Let me cut you off.
Not all epic proportions and I have to get used to in.
So let me cut you off real quick. Talking about David and Goliath. Hold on, Jesus.
Oh wow.
Finally get ready to talk and it blew my moment. I made a David versus Goliath comment on Sunday night, and my dad kind of told me that it sounds like you're again like saying two different things because in one breath you're saying David versus Goliath, and in another breath you're saying Indiana has more talent than people are giving them credit for, and they're not going to be outgunned in this game. I think perceptionally, if you're talking about the brands of these two football teams, this is 100% David versus Goliath. The histories. If you're talking about the 2025 versions of these two football teams, they are shockingly similar, and Indiana is actually better than Ohio State in a lot of areas.
It is the biggest game in Indiana history. We're going to learn a lot about where we are as a football program.
Yeah, people keep telling me, somebody told me, they're like, this is the biggest game in your school's history, and the answer is yes, and so will the next one. So will the next one.
That's literally a motto on this show. People forget. Like I always call this game the next one, but then you always get mad. And then I remind you, the biggest game in Indiana history is
The next
what
one.
is it? The next one.
Yeah, it's like somebody was like, why do you feel the need to talk about Ohio State this week? I'm like, well, first of all, we're playing you guys, but second of all, like you guys aren't special. You're just next. Like if we weren't playing Ohio State this week, I wouldn't be talking about Ohio State.
Yeah. We haven't talked about Ohio State all year, besides when we run the slate. And we mentioned how good Ohio State is, and how they're going to win every week.
Haven't we actually have been 100% correct when talking about Ohio State?
Yeah.
100% correct.
Like, yeah, they're going to blow out Purdue.
Fucking, we were right, obviously.
Yeah, and then they're like, no, we're going to lose to Penn State. We're going to lose to Oregon. We're going to lose to Iowa. And then they get mad when we start talking shit. People wrong. And all we say all the whole time is, oh, they're going to win because they're Ohio State. Like, Indiana basketball lost by double digits. I said we had to win by 10, and then we lost by 10.
No, we lost by 9, Brad. That's quick.
Still, that's reverse. That's inverse Ken Palm result. Not good.
It's not great. Not great going into a really big matchup on Sunday, or Saturday. But listen, this is a football.
We had to go 4-2 in December. I was going to mention that, and now we're not on a good start. We have to beat Kentucky or Louisville. We're going to end up 10-3. Like at this rate, like are we going to beat Penn State? I don't know. It's fun.
I don't need that type of negativity right now.
No, we'll beat Penn State. We're better.
I had some takeaways from looking at Ohio State, Brad.
We dropped to 25, by the way, in Ken Palm. All right, back to Ohio State.
Wait, do we have a game line? Or do you want me to go find this? Like, what?
It's 5.5 from what I saw.
Still?
It's 4.5. Oh, it's 4. Hold on. All the money was on Ohio State. Minnesota rushed the floor, apparently. We didn't even make the tournament last year. We stormed the court? That's crazy. We're ranked 22. That's not top 10. It's not top 5. Stormed the court.
That's nuts. What's the over-under, Brad?
47, which seems right. I think it's going to be fucking.
That doesn't seem right at all. That seems like disgustingly high. These two defenses allow a combined like 22 points a game.
The offenses are pretty good. Mendoza's going to go crazy.
But the offenses aren't playing their defenses every week. That's a crazy number.
Yeah. That's 7.
That's
less than 7
regardless of what the final score ends up being, I think my favorite bet of the entire weekend would be the under. I think my favorite bet of the entire weekend would be the under.
My favorite bet of the week would be Elijah Surratt touchdown.
Guy's automatic. 80% of his catches go for first downs or touchdowns, Brad.
Yeah.
But obviously Ohio State starts and goes with Julian saying the dude really hasn't been uncomfortable at all this year. Did Texas make him a little uncomfortable? I don't know. I would say I would probably chalk that up more to first start jitters. I think it's funny. One of the things I like to throw at the Ohio State fans is like they only scored 14 points against Texas, but that was week 1, and that was you have an entire
glorified scrimmage.
Exactly. You have an entire offseason to game plan for one game. You're also making your first start in your college career. Like the Julian Sayin that started in that game is not the Julian Sayin that's going to be walking into Lucas Oil Stadium. Like this is a completely different football player. So like I'm not going to say like the kid can't perform under pressure or is like can't get right or anything. Like, but the reality of it is we don't know. Like I don't know what it looks like when that kid gets sacked 2-3 times or like it's getting pressured or getting hit all the time. Like he's pretty much shows up with a clean jersey and leaves with a clean jersey. Juxtapose that with Fernando Mendoza. Like I know what that kid looks like when he gets hit a bunch of times. He's going to keep getting up and keep making throws. And it's probably going to make him better. So again, it's like, I'm not saying Julian Sayin can't do these things, but it's not something that he's had to do at all. in his college career at all.
Yeah, it's good.
Obviously, he's thrown
saying,
to
like, you remember the Oregon preview?
Hmm?
It's very similar. You got to hit sand. And I think we can.
We have the D-line to
I
do
think
it.
we can make him very, very uncomfortable. I wish we had Kellen White for this game. It'd really help. But Kamara, Daly, they're going to have to get – and Dukeway maybe. They're going to have to get crazy. They're going to have to go a little crazy today. Bones Jones, getting to the quarterback. Those guys are going to have to really, really play stellar games. Tyreek Tucker, Landino.
I was going to say, obviously, he's throwing to two of the most talented guys in college football, Jeremiah Smith, who everybody says is better than Julio Jones at this age, and Carnell Tate, who looks like another first-rounder. The thing that potentially could bode well for Indiana is we don't really know the health of those guys. You presume that they are 100% healthy. The Ohio State didn't need either of them really to win any of the football games they were playing down the stretch. I can tell you that at least Jeremiah Smith looked pretty damn healthy against Michigan. So obviously Indiana is going to be game planning for those guys to be 100%. But those guys on their own are both difference makers. When you put them on the same field, it's like pick your poison, good luck. Past those two guys, Brendan Ennis is a name people know, right? But if you look at his production, he looks more like Riley Nowakowski than even like an EJ Williams in terms of like what he's put on the field this year. Max Clare, the Ohio State tight end who transferred from Purdue, actually looks more like their third receiver. And then past kind of those four guys, like they haven't had anybody, like there is no really Charlie Becker in their room or like, and I'm not saying that there aren't talented guys who can go make plays. Like obviously it's Ohio State. They have guys who are talented, but we just haven't seen it happen yet. And I think that goes to like Cignetti in his press conference talked about Ohio State looking like they're holding back. And it's like, it does kind of look like they're holding back. It feels like they could be blowing these teams out a little bit more. Like, you know, their point differential could be a little bit better. And I don't know if that was on purpose or it's just that this is the ceiling of that football team. We're going to find out.
Ohio State's very good. It does feel like
that's not
I
what
think
I'm
they're
saying.
just as good as us. I think they could have blown. You know, we can point out.
I just think if you can, you do.
Point how we're better, and I don't think that's going to do anyone any service. I think these are the two best teams in the country.
I'm just saying I don't think Ohio State is as mythically better than everybody else in the country. Like I think they're in that top 5 team.
They are not as good as they were last year as a whole. I think their defense is better. But their defense was very good last year. And I don't think that group gets enough credit for how good they were. The offense, I think, is a significantly lesser offense because Will Howard had that dynamic kind of in a pinch could run it and make you pay, right? Like
there was a rushing element of Will Howard that Julian Sain just does not have. Julian Sain's got 27 rushing yards on the season.
I don't think Ohio State's O-line is as strong as it was last year. Like I said, I watch a lot of Ohio State football. I don't think it's as strong as it was last year. And I think that is actually a matchup where I think we can expose. I think we can win at the line of scrimmage when they have the ball. Whereas I think we could put up a better fight against their D-line. I know how good their D-line is, but I also know how good our O-line is. Our O-line was nominated for a Joe Moore Award. Theirs was not. There's a reason for that. Right, if they were as dominant as an undefeated team, you know, you'd expect their O-line to be nominated for that type of award if you're undefeated in college football and you're Ohio State.
Yeah, I think the saving grace for Ohio State fans has been their I don't want to say newfound ability to run the ball.
Their weapons are insane.
Their weapons are insane, but they've been able to develop the run game in a way, especially over the last couple of weeks, where like Bo Jackson, obviously really, really talented freshman. People kind of had him on their radar going into this season. Yeah. But like, even I thought like CJ Donaldson would end up being like their lead back just because he was a little bit older, had the experience. Like Bo Jackson's the 4th leading rusher in the Big Ten. He's probably going to rush for 1,000 yards this year as a freshman. Like that dude is unbelievably talented. And Indiana is one of the best defenses in the country against the run. They're going to have to bottle that guy up.
Versus Jackson is one hell of a matchup. You know, Hardy's probably going to be matched up against Max Clare. Another hell of a matchup. I think Hardy won that matchup last year in the Purdue game.
People don't. I love that Ro Hardy ended up on the second team All Big Ten because people don't realize how talented that guy is or what he does for Indiana. Like that guy can run with tight ends in this conference. Like he is unbelievable.
He's so good
at
in
playing
coverage.
linebacker.
He is Miles Jack-esque in terms of linebackers in coverage. He is absolutely insane. His speed and his ability to his hip movement is very Miles Jack-esque. The issue is he's about 4 inches smaller and about 20 pounds lighter than a Miles Jack. But he's got the similar kind of traits to him, but like the size of him is just smaller.
Wait till you see these kids in the class of 2026 play
He's
linebacker.
a freak, man. Elijah Hardy's a freak. I mean, he's still got – I'm not saying his measurables are less. I'm just saying he's legit just smaller than the guy. And it's it's sick. It's awesome to have that talent on the team. Like, I don't think people realize how fucking good he is. Holy shit.
I want to run some numbers by you, Brad, because obviously, like Ohio State, historically good defense, unbelievably good. You look at their point totals allowed, like not taking away from anything that they've done on the field this year. Sack totals: Indiana has 34, Ohio State 30. Tackles for loss: Indiana's got 103, Ohio State's got 70. Interceptions: Indiana's got 16, Ohio State's got 7. Forced fumbles: Indiana's got 9 forced fumbles, Ohio State's got 8. Now, I put a little like bracket around all of that, and then I wrote Caleb Downs and put a box around it. And like Ohio State has Caleb Downs. So like first, like you can lean on stats or look at stats or look at like what it's like at the end of the day, like the best player on the field is going to be on Ohio State's defense. And so that's something that Indiana has to account for.
100%. Yeah. I'm reading Colorado Krugel's comment. Will Evans start this game? I hope so. Have we heard news on that, Keezer?
And I doubt we will hear news. I looked at the snap counts last week.
Start Leifried or Ajani because they've been kind of playing both of them at the left guard spot.
I looked at the snap counts last week. Ajani led the team in snaps last week, so my guess would be Ajani.
He's been kind of rolling. He's been playing
Evans
well.
didn't play at all. Benson played like second team snaps.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating that we're losing tackles because all of a sudden, like, we're returning 3 playable guards next year.
Well, one of those guys is
going to move the center. It's probably going to be Bray.
It's probably going to be Leifried.
It's probably going to be Bray
playing center.
No, it's going to be.
You texted me.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about Evans, Lynch, and Ajani, the guards. They're all really good, so they're probably going to move Bray Lynch to center next year and not have to use some money for the portal to bring in a guy, which is nice. It's good. It's good. And they'll probably go after a tackle. Probably get their Isaiah World, type player.
Let me throw a couple more numbers.
But yeah, I really hope Drew Evans plays.
Yeah, I do hope Drew Evans plays. Indiana has 800 more all-purpose yards than Ohio State. They are also have a better point differential at 33.4. Ohio State's is 29.3. So as good as that Ohio State defense is, Indiana's offense is better than Ohio State's offense. Indiana's strength of record is 1. Ohio State's strength of record is 2. And obviously, I mean, I don't love these metrics. And then Indiana's strength of schedule is 45. Ohio State's strength of schedule is 46. And so any type of mention of like, oh, Indiana's schedule was easier than Ohio State's or the opponents, actually, technically, Indiana's schedule was harder than Ohio State. But you're splitting hairs there. You know what I mean? So it's like they played very similar schedules and they stat very similarly. Indiana is more like Indiana's stats look better.
Yeah.
And if you look at ESPN's like special teams efficiency, they slaughter Ohio State. Ohio State's like 100 and something in the country, and Indiana's like 12.
Dude, they're equal teams.
Yeah,
they're equal.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many insane matchups. Like talk about Hemby versus Styles. Talk about Surratt versus Igbunoson, the guy who holds all the time. Like our guys, like their weapons are really good on the outside, and they're probably going to win.
Igbunoson, our guys are the Jersey guy, Brad. Jersey guy, Davison Igbunoson.
Yeah, we're going to win a lot more than that. I mean, I will say Igbinosun has thrived in the Matt Patricia system this year. However, he's very known for being that holding type corner. So if we can expose that with Surratt, who will need to be held, always does, that could be something that's a matchup that I think we can expose as well. And
yeah, I think that's a good. We haven't talked about
more so than Smith can expose punts.
We have not talked about Patricia, and I think it's interesting. Like, what if you think about what all those Bill Belichick defenses did really well that he was in charge of, and like what this Ohio State, like the people that talk about this Ohio State defense, like what they do really well. They disguise coverages unbelievably. They're really well disciplined, and they tackle. And so like there aren't these gaudy like tackle for loss numbers. While they do have guys that produce right, like Caden Curry, the Indiana kid, has been one of the best pass rushers in the conference. Arvell Reese is one of the most athletic pass rushers in the conference. Like we talked about him winning the Butkus Award, but you can argue he's probably better even off the edge. Like they have a ton of talent. They're well coached. They're disciplined, and they do the fundamentals really well. And
so, yeah, keep going.
I was gonna say when you put all of those things together and you play against other college teams, yeah, like you're going to get the results. Like they're going to embarrass some people. I think where the chess match becomes really intriguing is like Kurt Cignetti, Mike Shanahan, Chandler Whitmer, and like the Cignetti offense versus the Patricia defense. Like what does Cignetti and Shanahan and co have in store to attack what they believe are the holes on this defense?
Yeah, I feel like it like we want to make it a San Mendoza matchup, but it really does come down to like the Mendoza versus Patricia matchup. I feel like that's the biggest part of the whole puzzle, right? Because if Mendoza can't move the ball, Indiana's going to lose.
Yeah, I think that's pretty simple.
Right, because they have Jeremiah Smith. Like if it's a 10-7 game, Jeremiah Smith's getting that game-winning touchdown to make it, 10-7. Right? Like that's how that game goes. Right? They break through finally. If it's like, or it's like 3-3 the whole game. Right? It's like who gets the first touchdown? Like push come to sub. I'm gonna say Jeremiah Smith breaks out of that game. So like the offense just can't stall. The offense has to score points, and if Mendoza can't do that, they're not gonna win. That's a fact. Like I said, I love Brian Haynes, but like Ohio State's gonna score a touchdown in that game. Right? I'm not saying that game's gonna happen. I'm just saying in that type of game. Because I think this is like I said, the big show. It's coin flip. I think these teams win 5 out of 5, 5 out of 10, right, against each other. Right? Who's going to win on Saturday? Is Mendoza going to show up and be super prepared and be able to analyze these disguised coverages to do enough to move the ball and then score enough to win the game? Like that's what it comes down to. Like obviously maybe Ohio State could say the same thing, but I really think it's more so about Mendoza versus that Ohio State defense more than it is about San versus our defense.
I actually kind of completely disagree. I think the entire game is San versus our defense.
Really?
Yeah. I think that I think if we can make him look like
we can hit him,
an inexperienced quarterback who hasn't played in a ton of big games, I think that is probably Indiana's best chance of winning this football game. Because if he is going to sit back there and be the Julian Sayin he was this year and complete 80% of his passes and get those freaks the ball, then it's going to be really hard to beat those guys. So they need him to be ordinary, just like Dante Moore was ordinary.
Yeah, but think about how good Ohio State was last year. And that defense played really well against them. They absolutely stalled the run. They had Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, who have turned out to be pretty damn good NFL running backs.
The most impressive part of that game last year was Will Howard's ability to stand in the pocket and pick apart Indiana's zone. And
Will Howard had his best game of the year.
He probably completed at 80%. And if Sayin is able to do the same thing, he's going to do the same thing, regardless of who's catching passes for Ohio State. That's why you have to make that guy uncomfortable.
Yeah, but you have to account for the loss of Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly called a hell of a game against us. Called one. He purposely rolled Howard out, fully knowing that he'd be like wide open to run for like 15 yards for first down. Like he called that out so many times against our defense, and to each their own. Like Chip Kelly's a hell of a coordinator, and Brian Haynes is a hell of a coordinator, and sometimes the other coordinator just gets you sometimes, It's two minds going
Yeah,
at
I
it.
don't
You
know.
know, it just goes.
I don't think the problem with last year's game we were out schemed. I think we were.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying like they've taken a downturn in that scheme department, right? Regardless, with Hartline.
Yeah, I don't know. Or I mean, you can make the argument
Play
that
calling
Ryan Day
ability, like
learned from Chip Kelly and he adjusted his
you're not
philosophy.
you're not gonna be able to teach the mind of Chip Kelly play calling like routine to him in one season. You get out of here. That guy's a.
I didn't say that. I said maybe he picked some things up. I don't know.
Maybe,
I'm playing devil's
maybe,
advocate. I have some keys to success though, Brad.
Yeah.
Key number 1, punch first. I think obviously momentum in any football game is your friend. The crowd, which like we haven't talked about the crowd yet. Like it's in Indianapolis. I think at worst this is going to be 50-50 because obviously you got to acknowledge the way the Ohio State fans travel and how close it is to both Columbus and the state of Ohio and how many Ohio State fans there are. Like they travel really well. There's going to be a bunch of them at that game. But there's going to be a lot of Indiana fans at that game as well. Indy is in the dead heart of Indiana, right? There's a lot more Indiana fans close in vicinity to Lucas Oil than Ohio State fans. So I'm anticipating a really good crowd, but it's not going to be like this wildly hostile environment where like you're going to have to change your snap count or use silent count even. Like I think that like both teams will probably end up being fine using their snap counts. But I think that Ohio State has trailed. I think the only time they trailed all year was against Michigan, right? And they haven't trailed in the second half, and they haven't even had like a third quarter like win expectancy under like 70% or something stupid like that. You gotta make this team sweat a little bit. You start getting into end of the first quarter, early second quarter, end of the second quarter, going into halftime, and they're down, and they have to think about that for the first time all year, and those thoughts fester. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what you want going through that locker room. Like if Ohio State gets to halftime and they're on cruise control and they're like, we've done this 12 times every year, like it's a much harder second half. So I think you have to punch first.
It's a great point. And think about this. Who has played the more closer games this year? Who's been in more dogfights? Who's been the one to have to figure it out as opposed to feeling uncomfortable?
Ohio State has not been uncomfortable.
We talked about the matchups
in the game once.
It seems very, very even in a lot of spots. Like across the board. Like Ohio State's got us in some areas. We got them in some areas, but like it all kind of levels off. So it's like push come to shove, who's gonna figure it out? And Indiana has a lot more experience figuring it out.
100% agree.
Special group. I mean, they got this Mendoza guy who's going to stare him in the eyes in a big drive and be like, "Hey, this is the play call. Let's run it. We've done this a million times. Let's go." And they're going to drive down the field. We watched the Penn State game. We watched it. Penn State's just as talented on defense as Ohio State's defense is, talent-wise.
Paul, no.
Yeah.
No.
All right, whatever. They're comparable. All right, moving on.
No.
Stop. No. They're comparable.
I'm not letting you make that point. I'm just not. This is the best defense Indiana.
But you know what I'm saying.
Oregon's defense is better than Penn State's.
Who?
Oregon's defense is better than Penn State's.
Yeah, and they did just fine against them.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like I don't know.
I'm just okay. Anyways,
key number 2 because
they've been able to pull it out against top defenses all on the road. This game is on a neutral site, and they're probably gonna have a home lean.
Yes. Key number 2 because I had a perfect transition when you mentioned Mendoza, and then but anyway, protect Fernando Mendoza. Keep that dude upright.
Oh, please.
And obviously, we've seen him be able to get up and like take hits and all of that, but like you just don't want that happening. Keep the guy on his feet. You know he's going to be able to make plays. Give him enough time. He's going to find the right read. He's going to get the ball in our playmakers' hands. Like keep the guy on his feet.
They're just not a high sack team. I feel very confident about Carter Smith in this game and even Khalil Benson.
I wouldn't be surprised if like
6-7.
if this was the game where they decided to use Arvell Reese. Like I don't want to say exclusively on the edge, but like his edge snap count is like significantly higher.
Yeah, if I'm them,
I think they have to
try to get Reese to expose Benson. Like I don't think he's going to do anything against Smith.
I'm just saying I think he's probably the best pass rusher on their team, and like the way the NFL world is talking about that kid right now, that he's going to be a top 5 pick, and it's not because of his ability to play linebacker. It's because they want to Micah Parsons him and move him to the edge. I'd probably just ride that wave and do it in college if he's going to be the most disruptive player on the field, enough to get drafted number 1.
Like it's his choice.
I'm not saying it's Arvell Reese's choice. I'm saying like the coaching staff decides to use him in that way. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Patricia like understands that and is like, I don't need to put that on film all the time, right? Or I don't need to use this that many times, but I can pull it out in big games. Like I'm just saying, like I would be probably on the lookout for something like that.
Yeah, they will. They'll use Peyton Pierce as the other linebacker and rush Reese. I think they do that all the time.
No, they do that. I'm just saying, like I don't know if I'd look at I would just take their numbers at face value, understanding that they have a bunch of talent that can change the game and kind of almost toss all that stuff out for this game. Key number 3, Brad, beware of Caleb Downs. There aren't many players in college football like this guy. It's funny. I had the spiel the other night where I said, like, you talk like anybody who talks about the most talented players in college football, like at any position, his name comes up. It's a top 3, top 5, right, type talent in the sport. Talk about him in terms of the NFL draft. It's like, yeah, he's no brainer, top 5 player coming out, but then everyone's like, no, he can't be a top 5 pick because he's a safety. Like, I don't understand that. The guy's an absolute weapon. You got to know where he is at all times. Like he's one of the very few, like, again, there aren't many players like him in the country, and you have to be aware of where he is because he can completely ruin the game.
100%. And he had that punt return last year. He likes to turn the ball over. He's just great ball skills. I mean, he's just a special talent. Like the Ed Reed compliment from Mendoza is so well deserved. He's one of the best safeties I've seen, possibly ever.
And he's gonna be lurking all over the place. They use him. They bring him off the like he blitzes. He plays center field, like you said. He's
it's hard to think of someone who can't
tackles.
He just can't. He can do everything. Like he can hit hard. He's a physical presence. He can run stop. He can ball hawk. He can cover man. He can cover zone. He can punt return. He can kick return. He can probably play receiver if you wanted to. He's an insane talent.
Isn't his brother's Josh Downs?
Yeah.
I'm sure he probably could play receiver.
Yeah. He's going to be – it's crazy that safeties don't have that crazy high value because he's probably going to drop out of the top 5 because because he plays safety. But, I mean, if he falls out of the top 10, that's crazy. He's one
if they just listed him at linebacker and he'd probably, or like, yeah, whatever. But, yeah, you have to know where that guy is. Key number 4, make Julian Sayin uncomfortable. We just talked about it.
Hit him.
Obviously, you want to make any quarterback uncomfortable, but it's a little bit different. Like when we talk about Mendoza, it's almost better to – I don't want to say it's better to force him to make throws, but it's like it's like he powers up when you hit him. Like not to the point where like you don't want free hits on your quarterback. You don't want him to get hurt, but it's like that physical aspect of the game is like kind of gets him going a little bit versus like we don't really know how Julian Sayin responds when he gets hit a lot. So this would be a great day to find out. And if Indiana can find out, and listen, it might just be that you hit that kid a bunch of times and he just gets back up and he keeps slinging the rock and he's just like that dude and he's a 5-star and he's gonna be like that. The reality is we don't know and we should find out.
Yeah.
And key number 5, Brad. Indiana has to remember that regardless of how much talent is on Ohio State's team, that they are not outgunned in this game. They have more than enough talent on both sides of the football to not only hang in this football game, but win this football game.
Oh, plenty. I mean, it's NFL and NFL talent. Like, yeah, Ohio State probably has a lot more top-end NFL talent, but, like, Indiana has a lot of guys that are going to play in training camps. Like, all their starters, and it bleeds into their 2D. Like, all those guys are going to get NFL looks. Like, a lot of them just aren't going to the draft this year because they're just underclassmen. Right? They are extremely talented. This team, their player development has really impressed me throughout this year. I think it was a big question mark going into this year because, it's year 2. Like, what's that year 2 jump going to look like? We just don't know what their player development look like. And to get this kind of first taste on what their Indiana's, which we haven't really talked about all year, how well their player development is, which I think it's appropriate time to bring it up because you got to kind of see the proof in the pudding, like the 12-0 season. And you're like, man, like, you know how hard it is to go 12-0 in college football? You got to be crazy talented to do that, regardless of what conference you're in, right? And, like, remember that Western Michigan team that went 12-0? Like, they had, like, 3 NFL guys on that team, maybe more. Like, they were loaded for the MAC. You know what I mean? But, yeah, Indiana's got plenty of guys that are going to play, like, on Sundays on this team. Bringing up Farrell, Lumore, Pons, Fisher, Jones is probably going to go league. Hardy's probably going to go league when it's all said and done. Landino, Tucker, Wyatt, Daly, Kamara. Like, that's just the defense. Probably got 2 NFL linemen and what I think is Bray Lynch and possibly Ajani down the line. The way he's been stepping up as a redshirt freshman. Carter Smith. Surratt Cooper, obviously. I think Hemby's going to really I think he can make a roster. He can. He's young. He's a true senior. He's got plenty of time left. I think he's only like 22. And Mendoza, obviously, who's probably the highest draft pick of all the players on the field in this game. So Indiana has plenty of support around what is a Heisman Trophy contending quarterback, and they have enough to get it done, period.
Score prediction.
Oh, man. 25-22. Just wacky.
25-22 Hoosiers.
25-22 Hoosiers. Yeah, obviously.
That's a wild score, Brad.
I'll
knock your socks off here. No. I actually like Indiana a lot in this game. And I like the Hoosiers 21-7.
Woo! Man.
Here, let me tell you why. And again, I think
it's going to be a dogfight.
I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I'll say this, though. I haven't seen anything other than really crowd noise put a dent in what this offense can put on the field, right? And so if you eliminate crowd noise, the least amount of points I've watched Indiana's offense put up is like 28.
I could see it happening.
So Ohio State, for as much talent as Ohio State has, the biggest issue Indiana had in last year's game was the crowd noise. That is not going to the moment was too big for them last year. The moment will not be too big for them this year. Exactly. Scheme wise, they can more than compete. They've upgraded athletically. I think this is a situation where Indiana scores first. The defense plays really well. And it's just that it's almost like deer in the headlights, before anybody even knows it, it's 14-0. And that's kind of like the way the game goes.
You know what your score prediction made me think of?
What's that?
Remember when we went to Eugene and beat the piss out of Oregon? Beat the piss out of them.
That's what really into this game.
I don't think we talked about insane. I don't think we emphasized how they actually handled the Ducks. They beat the piss out of them.
If Mendoza doesn't throw that pick, Indiana wins by 2 touchdowns.
The fourth-ranked team in the country, and they went to their place and spanked them. So I don't hate your score prediction at all. I think Ohio State. My score prediction comes from the idea of, I think Ohio State is saving it. You know how we were talking they're letting up a little bit. I don't think they let up this game. I think we win and we win hard. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun.
No, I don't think this is going to be an easy 21-7. I think this could be more of I think this is more of Indiana scores on their first possession, quick 3-and-out, big punt return or interception, good field position score again. All of a sudden it's 14-0 and Ohio State's truly playing from behind for the first time all year. I think that's how you get 21-7.
Interesting.
And at the same time,
you really want to punch him early.
I think they
should ask for the
hit
ball.
hard.
They should get the ball first. That's what they should do.
I do like that.
They did it They did it
Because
when
at the end of the
Ohio
day, like
State.
if you can't score on this Ohio State defense when everybody's fresh and you schemed up and you right, like if you can't put a good scripted drive together against this Ohio State defense, like forget it. You're not scoring when the play opens.
Yeah.
And so like if it looks like they're constricted and can't score early, like yeah, it's going to be like really nerve-wracking. But on the flip side, like I think Indiana has a really good first scripted drive.
I
And
think they can win despite not scoring on their scripted drive.
They could. But again, it gets a lot harder.
They're talented enough to figure it out. And
They are, but it gives me less confidence if you have 8 days to game plan and you come out and you're like, you know what I'm saying.
They usually punch first, though. That team has punched first in every game. Penn State, Indy, Iowa, Oregon.
At the same time, like I could also see this being like 2011 Bama versus LSU, where it's like 9-6, and neither offense can get going, and it's just a straight up rock fight, and it's just like 11 yards and a punt for an hour, and it's just Big Ten football, and it's awesome. You know what I mean? Like I can see that happening, and I can see both. What I can't see, and what like again, like anything's possible. I can't see this being like a 37-34 like high scoring like defenses cancel each other out and the offenses go crazy type game. Like I don't think that's what happens.
There's no way this game exceeds 60 points.
No. I think that over being at again, regardless of who wins, the over under being at 47.5 is crazy.
Yeah, there's no way this game exceeds 60. There's just no shot.
I don't think it exceeds 50, and like I said, I like
that's
the
under
take, probably
but I think it's actually like impossible for them to hit like exceed 60.
I just think the defenses are too good.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think either of them score 30 individually.
I think if either of these teams get to 30, they're absolutely winning the game.
Yeah. First one to 30 wins is probably like how this one goes.
100%. First one to 20 wins. First one to 17 wins.
I like that. First one to 10.
First one to have a double-digit lead wins.
Yeah, so seriously. Which probably won't even happen in the game. I like your take. It's good. You want to run through the college football slate?
Yeah, let's do it. It's not a big one.
Championship.
I love my take too, Brad. If it comes to fruition, we're sitting here on.
You like my 25-22? You like my wacky little Big Ten championship score? It's fun.
I like any result that has Indiana winning is a result that I like.
It's actually 24-21, but they both convert 2-point conversions. You like that?
Yeah, it's because you're anti-extra point, so that
no, it's gonna be I'm picturing like it's gonna be 17-14 most of the game, and then Ohio State's gonna do it, and then for whatever reason they're gonna go for 2. They're gonna get.
Well, I was looking. They kicked like 20 to 30 less extra points, I think, or something stupid like that than we've kicked. Which like I was trying to figure out the math in my head, and I couldn't. It didn't make sense. I think they might just go for 2 a lot, but that might not be true. They might just have multiple extra point.
They have less touchdowns.
6 less passing touchdowns.
They have 55 touchdowns. On offense. I feel like that's less than us.
Definitely.
We score more touchdowns than us.
We do.
All right. Anyway, all right. College football slate. Championship week. Super exciting stuff. Lots on the line. That's why the playoff's so great. You know, we have this great game, and it matters in the last week of the year. First game, Kennesaw State. The Owls. Wow.
You're 9-3 CUSA regular season co-champion Owls.
Playing in Duval as they play Jacksonville State, a team not in Jacksonville, a team that's actually from Georgia.
Blew my mind.
So don't get confused. It's not a home game for Jacksonville State, despite being in Jacksonville. Do not get confused about that. Don't be an idiot. It's Kennesaw State, Jacksonville State in the Conference USA Championship. The spread is Kennesaw State minus 2.5. Who do you got?
I got Kennesaw State.
I like Kennesaw State by a million.
I remember Amari Odom like Dexter Williams played the first series against Indiana, and then they brought in Amari Odom, and it was like, why are they making this change? And like, I know Indiana ended up winning that game 56-9, but Amari Odom had a really good game, made a couple really nice plays, flashed, and was like, oh my God, who's this kid? Like, I can't believe they're going to go back to Dex after that. And they didn't. They stuck with Amari Odom, and he ended up being, I think it was Conference Player of the Year or some stupid like that. Like, he was unbelievably good this year. They found their quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
And he is yet to hit the portal.
Yeah, no, like that. They've been rolling with Odom. He's been really good all year.
Good player.
He might hit the portal. Troy. The Troy Trojans going to Harrisonburg, Virginia. The home game for James Madison. If they win with a Duke win, they're in the playoff.
Do we know who's going to be coaching them in this bowl game? And I know, like, this game, like Chesney, I'm going to coach through the champ, whatever. He just took the UCLA
I hope people
job.
are following all that at home because I'm literally laying out the scenarios like it's an NFL playoff game. James Madison can get into the playoff with a win against Troy and a Duke win. Just FYI. It's a lock that they're in. Just letting you know. Be prepared. James Madison's a 23.5 point favorite.
Yeah, I was about to say, regardless of who's coaching them in that game, I still like James Madison.
47. Yeah. I love James Madison in this game by a lot. Not close.
You might be coaching them, though.
Maybe. That would be crazy. Then I'd get a sick head coaching job afterwards. Maybe like Penn State or something like that. Mountain West Championship, home game for Boise State. UNLV going to Boise State.
Shout out to former Indiana commit Cash Herrera, who committed recently to Boise State.
Very good for them. Wow, what a pickup for them. Nice. He's going to have a good career. Boise State, they're always good. They're going to win by a lot in this Mountain West game. What's the spread? 4.5. I love Boise State minus 4.5 here.
I agree.
Been a down year. Like Landry is good, but this is what Boise State's made of. They're a championship program. They play in these types of games, they pull it out. Unless it
would be really funny if Dan.
It might not be the old. Maybe it's not the old Boise State. Maybe it's not the same old Boise State. Who knows?
You said it's you at UNLV, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Mullen, after saying he's not going to be taking any of these jobs, has been the Penn State guy the whole time. That'd be pretty funny.
If he wins this game, might as well just hire him. He beats Boise State at their place in a Mountain West Championship game. I mean, that guy just wins.
This is Boise State's Mountain West goodbye. Aren't they a Pac-12 team next year?
Who?
Boise State.
Yeah, and UNLV.
Wow.
On ABC, 7:00. Hold your horses. It's a play-in game for the college football playoff. A lock. No matter what happens, this is a play-in game for the field.
The whole world's gonna be watching this one, Brad. Everyone's gonna be tuning into this one. What even else is even on at this time?
The whole world is going to be watching as North Texas goes to Tulane. Winner goes to the college football playoff. How beautiful is that? How magnificent is that?
You think the winner of that game's going to college football playoff?
I think it's guaranteed.
Guaranteed?
Guaranteed. They'll either be the 11 or the 12 seed based on how Virginia Duke goes.
With no head coach?
Because no matter what, they're going to be both those teams are going to be ranked above James Madison if they win.
It is so funny how none of these teams have head coaches.
Yeah.
North Texas might have a head coach, actually.
Guarantee. The winner of Tulane and North Texas is in the field. Get used to it.
Who's that going to piss off the most?
Duke, Virginia fans.
Not to
ACC,
get in.
ACC fans. Oh, Miami fans probably. You know what I mean? Probably Miami fans. Probably it's gonna piss off the most. The spread is North Texas minus 2.5 on the road.
I think I like North Texas. I think they have a head coach, so I'm
I
gonna go
love
with
the
North
name.
Texas.
Yeah, I love the mean green here. That's the team that beat the piss out of Washington State, who almost beat Ole Miss at home.
Well, that was when Lane was talking to LSU.
That's significant right there. That's crazy.
How significant can it be when their head coach was, before he was calling a play, he was like looking at Zillow listings in Baton Rouge?
It's funny, Keith.
Oh shit! It's third down. Like, oh my god.
You're good. All right, Saturday. You ready? Wait, did you pick? You picked North Texas.
Yeah.
So we haven't disagreed on anything yet. It's lame. Big 12. Oh, we'll start MAC. MAC championship game. We got the Miami, Ohio Redhawks taking on the Western Michigan Broncos in Ford Field, the classic. The MAC championship in Ford Field.
I can't, for the life of me, pick a team where the offensive coordinator is Walt Bell.
I like the Redhawks too. I like Chuck Martin.
I actually refuse to do it. I don't even care if the line is like
dynasty.
What's the line?
They have good alums too. They should be winning the MAC every year. I feel like they have the more wealthier alumni base of all the MAC schools. Miami, Ohio. So I like Miami in this game in the nature of NIL.
Yeah.
And once again, we're agreeing, which is kind of annoying.
I'm not taking a Walt Bell-led offense to win a championship. It's not happening.
For the record.
Huh?
Western Michigan's favorite.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. I like Miami. This Lowry kid's really good for Western Michigan, though.
This is a Walt Bell issue.
Lowry kid's having a hell of a year, but he has less than 2,000 passing yards.
It's still
7 touchdown passes all year. He's being Walt Bell is a Lowry merchant, basically.
Yes.
Is what's going on. Yeah. That's what's going on. People are going to get fooled because he's a former head coach and an Indiana OC. But no, he's a Lowry merchant. BYU going to Texas, or taking on Texas Tech in the Jerry Dome. 11 a.m. Central Time, noon Eastern. Arlington, Texas. Everyone's going to be watching because no one's going to be watching the MAC championship game. BYU is in with a win. Texas Tech obviously just wants to really complete a Big 12 championship run. BYU kind of getting snubbed here, has to win this game to be in, allegedly, according to the CFP. What if they play them close and just jump them over Notre Dame like they should?
It's possible.
That would be Notre Dame.
I'm not ruling it out. That would be hilarious.
If Notre Dame got bumped out for a bunch of Mormons that lost to Texas Tech, they're going to be so mad.
That would be the most hateful. So they would have to all get off social media for a day, or they would all get banned.
Oh,
they would. That fan base would say the most harmful things.
The spread's 12.5. If BYU covers, are they in?
No, and that's a tough location for that game, to be honest.
Yeah, I hope. I'm rooting for BYU. I like Texas Tech in this game.
I was going to say it first, so it looked like you were copying. I'm not copying you, but yeah, how can I not take Texas Tech in a home game?
Texas Tech was my preseason Big 12 pick as well, so I have to take them.
It's a home game.
Yeah. Georgia, Bama, ABC, Atlanta. Georgia minus 2.5.
I'd like to say
Georgia. SEC so good. Bama, Georgia. SEC
every year.
Good. Bama, Georgia. Every year.
And Georgia can't beat them.
Never stops.
Georgia can't beat them.
Because A&M couldn't beat Texas. As long as they lost to Bama or Georgia. They just couldn't beat Texas. SEC is so loaded, so good. It's insane.
I like Bama.
Yeah, it is a good conference. They deserve 5 bids. I'll say with that. Who do you like?
Bama.
I like Kalen DeBoer. He's a winner. Taking on Kirby Smart, though. Georgia was my preseason. Let me double check this.
Georgia's got a Bama problem.
Who was my Yeah, but do they have a Kalen DeBoer problem? They might. Kalen
He
DeBoer's
beat him this
eligible.
year.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to beat a good team twice. I like Georgia. I like the Dogs here. Georgia in
Cool,
Atlanta.
we
it's hard to beat
disagree.
twice. I like Georgia Bulldogs.
This is our
Bama's
only
in no matter
disagreement.
what. Yeah, Bama's in no matter what, but I like the Bulldogs here. But I think Bama will have a little bit of pep in their step because they're feeling the pressure. They kind of feel like they got to win to be in, but I don't think that's the case. I think they're in no matter what. But yeah, glad we can finally disagree on something. I like the Dogs.
Had to happen.
Yeah, had to happen at some point, naturally. All right. Game of the century. Game of the century is Indiana, Ohio State. But a next close second would be Duke, Virginia in Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. A home game.
Everyone's gonna be watching this game.
A home game for Duke. They're 7-5 this year. They made it to the ACC title game against 10-2 Virginia, who's had a fantastic year. I think it'd be great for Virginia to get in with a win, into the playoff. I think it'd be a great story. Duke, if they win, since they're not ranked in the CFP as of right now, the only way they could get in is with a win would be a James Madison loss to Troy.
Can I make a Manny Diaz comment for a second and say he's I believe the only name on that original Penn State coaching search list that hasn't been extended yet.
Who? Manny Diaz?
Yeah.
I mean, Duke's coach always leaves. It's inevitable.
So
Manny Diaz at Penn State would make a lot of sense because he was there recently with James Franklin. It's kind of funny if they did that. Manny Diaz, he was right.
He's honestly that probably the team that still has stakes. Kind of started off really hot and then disappeared out of nowhere after recruiting really well. So what was the reason there? It's like, I don't know. I can kind of see that if you move the puzzle pieces around, it's like it's either Manny Diaz or Brian Kelly or Brian Dayball or Mike Tomlin.
You want to know my real authentic take on this game is? My real take.
That Virginia is going to be a college football playoff team?
No, I think Duke's going to go in there. I think they're going to win the football game. I like Darian Mensah and I like Cooper Barkate. If you haven't watched Cooper Barkate play football, he's one of the more underrated receivers in the country this year. Harvard transfer. He's a 4-star recruit out of Mater Dei High School. If you haven't heard of it, Amon-Ra St. Brown, among other, Matt Leinart. Great football tradition. Cooper Barkate goes as a 4-star to Harvard. Highest rated recruit in Harvard history, obviously. Wins Ivy League Player of the Year, goes to Duke, still balling out. Darian Mensah, $6 million man at Duke. Can he get it done? Is the NIL worth it to go all in on a quarterback like that? Manny Diaz, hell of a defensive coach. I think Duke gets it done on a neutral field against Virginia.
We disagree again.
Yeah, I love this. This is good. I like Duke here. That's my real authentic take on this game. I think Duke's going to go in there, and I think they're going to win the football game. They haven't played all year. Oh, actually, Duke lost at home to Virginia 34-17. I think that helps them. Call me crazy.
I agree it's hard to beat a team twice, but I'm going to take the team that won the first time.
Fair. I'm going the opposite way. So it's a zigzag. And I like Darian Mensah and I like Cooper Barkate. Like that's just a real ball, no, not even accounting for them playing. Like that's just I could see them just having a day, just going to town.
Just being football players.
Yeah, just winning, just being guys being dudes, That's my real authentic take, and I think North Texas and James Madison are going to make the playoff. I can't wait. I'm so pumped for it. I hope BYU wins too, because then the field would be so beautiful if BYU wins, because the 10 seed would then be Bama if they lose to Georgia. So to go it'd be fun. So based on my takes, my field is my final field.
They need a playoff machine like the NFL has.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Hold on. Based on my predictions, because I picked an Indiana win as well. Need to keep that in mind. So at 1, I got Indiana. 2, Georgia. 3, Ohio State. This is if BYU wins.
I don't think you think in your own. I'm going to challenge you in your own hypothetical. You think Georgia's loss to Alabama is better than Ohio State's loss in the Big Ten championship game to Indiana by 3 points?
Yeah, but they have better wins, and they're the SEC champion. I think that holds value for me. SEC champion, that holds value. Conference champion holds value for me. I'm sorry, just does. Conference champion holds weight. Always will.
I'll be right back. Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know whose picture that is. Hold on.
That's Jackson Johnson. What are you doing? Should we just end the show?
I'm muted. I was gonna let the German Shepherds out, but
all right, let's just end the show and let the German Shepherds out.
No, you're right. If you're hanging out on the Sigs Inside Twitter channel, hop on over to YouTube. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Indiana at the Voice of College Football on YouTube. Check out Indiana at the Voice of College Football on Twitter. You can follow me at Alec Keiser. You can follow Brad at Bradley_Loomis8. Brad, I don't know if you noticed, but we have the old background back. I don't know what happened to the new background with the new logo, but we have the old Voice of College Football logo. But this one has our Twitter handles in it, not the show's.
I was a big fan of the confetti.
Oh, we can go back to the confetti. I don't know. I like the Indiana theme. Sue me. It's an Indiana show. Yeah. But yeah, it's shout out to the boys, Wave, Nick, Skrill, Signar, the intro song 1621, the outro songs, the sweet sound of Butter Symphony. Check those guys out. Friends and collaborators, Instrumental Volume 1 on streaming services. Yeah, it's a big one this weekend. It's the Big Ten championship game. It's Indiana's first Big Ten championship game. I'm going to enjoy that. I'm really just going to enjoy it. I'm excited. I'm loving the back and forth on Twitter. I'm having a good time. It's a great time to be an Indiana Hoosier, and I'm excited for this weekend. Very excited for this weekend. Mm-hmm. And then regardless of what happens, I'll have a instant reaction to the Big Ten championship on Saturday night. And then Brad and I will be live on Sunday, probably 5-ish, 6-ish, probably later.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends. It depends on a few things.
Brad and I will talk, and we'll figure out a time.
We'll work out something. Bears Packers is this weekend, so it's challenging. You know the Bears are the 1 seed. I live in Chicago. It's getting crazy over here.
Bears, man.
Yeah, it's getting insane.
That guy, Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Run game technician. But yeah, I love it. We'll be back this weekend. Appreciate everybody hanging out and listen to the sweet sound of Butter Symphony play us out.